We've had major technical difficulties behind the scene. Drew is still sorting out his sound. Griff and Mary, welcome.
Hello.
Okay. I thought for a moment my vocal had dropped off there and that you hadn't heard me. Okay, so we have Drew that'll be coming in a bit later as well. We have waiting in studio a good friend of mine, Daryl Hoffland, who'll be talking to us in a few minutes' time. But just to remind you that the theme for tonight is the sacred ordinary. And behind this is an idea or a theological position that's very close to my heart, and I think everybody on Soul Sessions, the idea that God is found, or even best found, in the everyday reality of life. Thinking here of the words of the founder of Methodism, John Wesley, who said, I think, upon his deathbed, that the best of all is God is with us. But maybe more poetically, to draw on the words of William Blake in his poem Auguries of Innocence, where he said magnificently, to see a world in a grain of sand and a heaven in a wild flower. And that idea of reality and life being imbued with the sacred, which I think is really important for us, Mary and Griff, in light of COVID-19, where people can think there's the whole thing is godless and God forsaken. Would you agree with the sentiments?
We do, yeah. Griff was saying it's like a Gillian of Norwich who's like sees the whole universe in an acorn.
Okay, brilliant. So you turn to the mystics and the saints to guide us on that. Drew, are you back? Okay, now Drew's face is frozen as well as the audio. So, but anyway, we'll get him going.
That whole bit about slowing. When you're forced to slow down, you realize what's important. Like I think we've all experienced that to some degree, for better or for better and for worse.
If not in the first lockdown, definitely in the second. We're forced to learn the lessons. We have Lucy Bateman on. Good evening, Lucy. It's good to have you with us. Just reminding you, both on YouTube and on Facebook, you can comment. We're looking for requests. I'm looking for challenging songs. We have great musicians here, and I really want them to be pressed to achieve. So let us know what songs you'd like to hear. We have
Andrew's looking for challenging songs. We're just looking for good songs.
Preferably Lutheran hymns for me. I'm going to bring Drew back in. Let's see if he's in the studio. Drew, you there? Okay, no, still can't hear you. Okay. Okay, well, on that note, Drew is actually supposed to be up first with Lord of All Hopefulness. Good evening, Barry and Jill, all the way from South Africa. Good to have you in with us. Drew, are you going to be able to lead us with that song?
Try. How about now?
He's back on now. So I'm going to take Miriam Griff and myself off. Are you going to lead us with Lord of All Hopefulness, Griff? Drew?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud.
Ah, great, okay, good. It always helps to turn things on. All right, press the switch, yeah. Okay, great.
Drew, take us away with the opening number.
Great, thanks. Good to be with you all this evening. Yes, in the context of the theme of what we were talking about in the sacred and the sacred ordinary, I chose this hymn, Lord of All Hopefulness, a close cousin to Be Thou My Vision, because I believe it speaks to that. It speaks to the idea of the Lord in everything throughout our day, and whatever metaphor you put with that. So we'll give it a go. Sing along at home. Lord of all hopefulness, Lord of all joy, whose trust ever childlike no cares could destroy, be there at our waking and give us, we pray, your bliss in our hearts, Lord, at the break of the day. Lord of all eagerness, Lord of all faith, whose strong hands were skilled at the plain and the late, our hearts, Lord, at the noon of the day. Lord of all kindliness, Lord of all grace, your hand swift to welcome, your arms to embrace. Be there at our homing, and give us, we pray, your love in our hearts, Lord, at the eve of the day. Lord of all gentleness, Lord of all calm, whose voice is contentment, whose presence is balm, be there at our sleeping, and give us, we pray, your peace in our hearts, Lord, at the end of the day.
Griff, Drew, thank you so much. That was a fantastic rendition of that song. I'm sure Mary and Griff agree. And yeah, thank you so much. I wanted to pick your brains about something to put me in the picture, because we all know that in terms of Cork, the Robinsons are a blow-in family. And we were chatting about soul sessions a while ago, and we're talking about the songs we could play. And I remember you, Drew, saying, like, we would have to do the Banks. And Mary and Griff picked up immediately on it, like it was an inside joke that I was the only one who didn't know what was going on. Can you explain to us, because you're saying even when overseas artists come, they're expected to play this song requested?
Oh, it's bound to happen at some point, but now, of course, you've set it up. But Griff does a great rendition of it.
My thoughts in their
No
hands
spoilers,
do
Griff.
take flight.
But yes, certainly, no matter who plays in Cork. So I'm trying to think of the most recent example, anyone from Michael Jackson in the 80s. But I think what's his name? Ed Sheeran was playing in Cork a couple of years ago. And, at the end of the gig, he was there with his little mini guitar. And at the end of the gig, he said, "Oh, it's great to be here in Cork. You're such a great audience. I got a special song for you." And of course, everyone nudges each other and says, "He's gonna sing the Banks. He's gonna sing the Banks." And of course, he didn't, obviously. But so anyone who plays live in Cork, there's an expectation that they're going to sing the Banks. Yeah. So.
Well, we'll have to work on that for one of our soul sessions afterwards, or soul sessions. Moving on, I know. Mary and Griff, your first contribution for tonight is a song called Wisdom and Grace, based on Psalm 90. I don't think I know it, written by Sandra McCracken. Do you want to speak a little bit about that song?
Sure. It's I don't know that much about Sandra McCracken, but she's done a series of worship songs on the Psalms, and she's part of a sort of like ecumenical Christian music group in the US. I think they're Presbyterian mostly, but it's sort of a counter to some of the CCM music, I guess. But I've been listening to the album a lot, and it spoke to, I thought, the Sacred Ordinary. I have to say, when you say Sacred Ordinary, I was thinking of, I have a friend, Donal, who he does do his own dishes, so I won't I can't complain too much, but he was talking to me about awareness and like being aware when you wash the dishes of the sort of it was that sort of thing. And I don't like doing the dishes, so it was kind of lost on me. But the song is it's about ordering your days and about sort of living your days with a purpose, I think, and being aware. And so yeah, I thought
it reminds me, actually, when you speak like that, Mary, it reminds me of Brother Lawrence, and his little and his book. What is the name of his book? It was a very thin, famous classic book. But he spoke about the God of the pots and pans, that when he was doing like ordinary work, that like the God was there with him, So very similar idea to that. We're going to hand over to you now, but I just want to tell you, yeah.
I was also going to say there was a Richard Rohr thing like back in May or something, and it was a parenting sort of thing about, it was a woman saying, well, how do I have time for all of this sort of mindfulness and contemplative prayer or whatever? Like my kid comes up to me, it's ridiculous. You can't build that in. And it was, about seeing your child coming to you for help in the same way that you're coming to God, or sort of trying to see the sacredness in those, in our ordinary lives. So.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. We're going to hand over to you now, but just to let you know, practicing the presence of God. Thank you, Daryl, in the studio there. And we got Blessed Be Your Name and All Things Bright and Beautiful. Take us for those two songs, just a verse of each. Would you do Blessed Be Your Name?
I will.
Okay, and then All Things Bright and Beautiful.
We can do that one.
But first,
this one.
First, this one, because I'm really eager to hear what this sounds like. Okay, over to you guys.
Yeah.
You're going to do the refrain too?
Yeah, I'll do it
Refrain
here.
and the verse.
Teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts to your ways. Oh, teach us to number our days with wisdom and grace, wisdom and grace, wisdom and grace, wisdom and grace. You've been our home and our dwelling, our place in all generations. Before the earth and the mountains were formed, Lord, you are God. Oh, teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts to your ways. Oh, teach us to number our days with wisdom and grace, wisdom and grace, wisdom and grace, wisdom and grace. Now the span of our life, it is made of sorrow and labor. As the days pass away like the grass, how soon we are gone. Let the work of our hands bring you praise, set your favor upon us. Oh, establish the work of our hands, may your kingdom come. Teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts to your ways. Oh, teach us to number our days with wisdom and grace, wisdom and grace, wisdom and grace, wisdom and grace.
That's excellent. Griff, Mary, thank you so much for that. I'm going to give you now a second to prepare yourselves for All Things Bright and Beautiful, because just like maybe two verses in the chorus, I don't know if the song goes with choruses and verses as well. While you're doing that, I'm going to hand over to Drew, who I'm sure is ready to give us a verse and a chorus of Blessed Be Your Name.
Hi, I'm not ready, but that's never stopped me from that.
Take it away, Drew.
I'm going to start with the second verse because I really like the second verse.
Okay, fantastic.
Blessed be your name when the sun's shining down on me, when the world's all as it should be. Blessed be your name. And blessed be your name on the road marked with suffering, though there's pain in the offering. Blessed be your name. Every blessing you pour out, I'll turn back to grace. When the darkness closes in, Lord, still I will say, blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name.
Drew, thank you so much for that. I've got another request for you, actually. Brian Callen's requested El Shaddai. Do you know El Shaddai?
It's been a while, Brian.
Yeah. I think
it's in there somewhere.
El Shaddai, El Elyon. Can I ask you to look at that, Drew?
I'll do my best, no promises.
Okay, but I'll tell you what, we're actually going to cut now. I'm going to bring in my mate, Daryl Hofland. I just want to ask him some questions, and then after that, we'll chase that with all things bright and beautiful, and then El Shaddai. Okay.
Super.
We'll see you just now, Drew. Daryl.
Hey, Andrew.
so good to have you with us, Daryl.
Oh, thank you. I'm super honored. This when you asked me, I was like, oh yes, this is so cool. Thank you.
Oh,
This
brilliant.
whole session thing is amazing. I love it.
Yeah, we're it's a bit of a mess, but we enjoy doing it every week. Just to let people watching know, Daryl and I, we go way back because you were a pastor in a church that I ministered in.
Yeah, back in 2012, I think.
2012, and then I moved actually over to Ireland, and you moved to the UK about the same time, or did you move before me?
I think you. I got you in 2018. When did you get?
Okay, it was about the same time, and now you're ministering in a Church of England parish.
Yeah, in Milton Keynes.
Okay, and how's it working out for you, Daryl?
Yeah, pretty cool. When I worked with you, I love being creative. So we did some creative things together. Still get to do creative stuff, from like doing stuff with the youth or evening services or whatever stuff. There's such creative people in my church, which is so amazing.
Very, very cool. And I think that's actually the reason why when I was thinking about Sacred Ordinary, I went to you because I know you've written a book, Daryl. I'm going to ask you a question about it in a short while. But my sense is, even in that book, one of the things I've always appreciated about you is in your theological understanding of God, there's always a sense of God's immediacy and God's presence. And you've always lived your life with a sense of wonder about like the God that you kind of see just kind of really filling your universe and your space. Would that be correct?
Yeah, that is spot on. Like here's a copy of the book, by the way.
Yeah, what's it called? Collection of Goods.
Yeah, it's actually Collection of Goods is inspired by a Collective Soul song. They had a song called Collection of Goods. But basically, it's a bunch of short stories and then a bunch of observations that like kind of life observations, almost like a journal entry.
Okay.
And I guess the essence of my book is to just notice God in the ordinary things. And my friend Nick Masters, he's actually quite an avid reader, and he did such a cool review for me on Goodreads and on Amazon.
I actually saw that.
Yeah, he got the essence of the book right. That's exactly what I wanted, like to live like be fully present in moments, to notice things. And that's kind of my short stories, this desire for connection, this desire to be present in the world around us, I guess. Yeah.
Brilliant. And now Daryl, obviously, like anybody's theological world is shaped by current events. COVID's been quite a big thing. How's that impacted your own faith and your own journey?
I think it's been quite a good year, 2020. I mean, obviously being stuck indoors has been difficult, but we haven't been entirely stuck indoors completely. I mean, I've been running a lot. I've been riding a lot. I've done the most distance ever in 1 year on my bicycle and on my feet. So it's been good. I've never run a marathon before, and then I set 2020 as a goal to run a marathon. I ended up running 2 marathons. So physically, it's been really cool. I've just kept going, and then this book has been on the back burner for about 10 years. I'm like, oh, I must do it. And then I had a New Year's resolution in January before I even knew COVID was, any of us knew COVID was a thing. I was like, this year is going to be a year I'm going to finish this book. And then lockdown happened, and it was a kind of blessing in some ways that I could actually sit down and rework some of the stuff, re-edit some stuff, and just get stuff out there. So it's been good. Ministry-wise, it's been challenging because obviously everything is online now. So like by August, I think I was in that first lockdown, I was totally zoomed out. I was like so frustrated, like it's screen fatigue. I think that's what it's called. It's just exhausting. Yeah.
And you've obviously managed to push through that. Heading towards the end of the year, Daryl, what are your hopes and dreams for like the Advent season and into 2021?
Sure. I thought of that. That question is quite a difficult question. I don't know. Just I guess I actually think approaching Christmas every time. I guess every year I want someone to get it. You know, I want someone to just get what Christmas is about on the Christmas side of things. We have to be quite different in how we're doing Christmas going forward, and pray for sort of creativity that God could use creative ideas to reach people. I know at our church we're quite excited. We're mounting this massive star, like it's like 2 meters by 2 meters. That's going to go on top of our Church of England building. So we're quite excited. It's going to be quite bright, and hopefully everyone over Bletchley. I mean, when you're approaching the church, you could see the
bigger than the original.
Yeah. I just hope it's brighter. I don't think it's brighter than the original, but we'll see what we can do. Yeah. But I don't know. The question you originally sent me a question, like what are your hopes and dreams for the next in your faith life? And I kind of thought, well, faith life for me, I wouldn't want to
differentiate
it. Yeah, and so like actually all of life is just all faithful. It's all of it's in faith and spiritual. Yeah, I'm just excited. I don't know what 2021 holds yet. I haven't got there yet, so I'm still going through 2020.
Well, Daryl, listen, it's always a delight talking to you. Your humor, your joie de vivre is fantastic. And I will be ordering my copy of A Collection of Goods. And you've got some really good reviews on there as well. So congratulations, my friend, on writing your first book. And I wish you every blessing in your ministry. And we'll chat off screen.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thank you, Andrew. That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Daryl. And we'll chat soon.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Ciao, Daryl. In fact, if you stay in the studio, I might bring you in for a little bit of a collective dialogue later on, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. Well, Drew, are you ready to send us with El Shaddai?
Yeah, I think so. Thanks for that, Brian. We'll try to keep the requests in English at least, give us some chance. But anyway, it's a beautiful song, so I hope I won't do it a disservice. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Elyon Adonai. Age to age, you're still the same. By the power of your name, El Shaddai, El Shaddai, Kamer Adonai. We will praise and lift you high, El Shaddai.
Excellent, Drew. Thank you so much. It took a while to get back into your studio there. And Mary,
short and sweet. It is a beautiful song, I will say.
And you played it really well for somebody who had to remember what it was. But we're going to hand over to Mary and Griff to lead us
about 15 years, but it's
verse and chorus of All Things Bright and Beautiful.
Can you fix yourself now?
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Ready? You want to give me an intro? All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful, our dear God made them all. Each little flower that opens, each little bird that sings, God made their own winged colors and made their tiny wings. all things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful, oh Lord God made them all.
Thank you so much, Miriam Griff. I just want to say I'm having a bit of problems with my internet, so I'm trying to comment on people's comments that are flying in, and I can't. It's just blocking me. So basically, thank you for the comments. Keep them coming in. We know that in fact we have a dual purpose for well a dual theme, because today is also Remembrance Day. And that's the day that marks the end of World War I, and of course is a day in which we commemorate all those who have lost their lives and sacrificed in war. You know, it's always a pregnant time of year, and I thought maybe to ask all of you peeps, what does this mean for you? What does Remembrance Day mean for you? What thoughts and feelings does it evoke?
I think Drew should go first.
Okay, thanks. You know, it's a funny one. My granddad came over to Cork back in like 1932, from the UK, and he always wore his poppy. And there were times during that time where it wasn't, considered, it wasn't considered that acceptable necessarily by certain people to wear the poppy, with Irish history. But for me, it's an unusual one, I suppose. I consider myself a pacifist, and again, obviously acknowledging and respecting those people who gave the ultimate sacrifice for what they believe to be the truth and what they believe to be right. The concept of war, and that's why I'm always very careful when I was thinking about music for this, about acknowledging that without sort of celebrating the triumphalism of war. And even when you see the images and but there's sometimes seems to be this kind of element of power attached to it. So like Remembrance in the month of November and everything like that, and the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month it's very important and very significant for a lot of people, and it does need to be respected. But just for someone like me, and I know down through the centuries Christians have struggled with this since the beginning of the faith, really, with struggling with this idea, the balance sort of between fighting for what is right and also wanting to morally and ethically live in a sort of with a pacifist ideals.
Yeah, I think that beautifully voices my own position as well. Maybe Griff, you guys add anything to that?
Just I'm sort of like Drew. It's a tough thing to remember, and I suppose I'm just always mindful. It's the exact same thing. There can't be any pride in wearing the poppy. The poppy represents the death, the vast hundreds of thousands of deaths, the flowers feeding off of the war dead in those Flanders fields. So I'm always conflicted with when I sort of catch a whiff of pride about Remembrance Day and the Great War, or thinking about the war dead, and that it's a humbling. The poppy is a symbol of the humbling reality of war and the toll it takes. So in terms of remembrance, I love the idea. And that's what the poppy means to me.
Griff, thank you very much. Daryl, would you add anything to that?
Yeah, I suppose growing up in South Africa, we felt a little bit removed from it because, South Africa being so far away. But like I kind of think of this whole tradition of remembering every year, and sometimes I always wonder. I just hope that people don't get caught in the rituals of it and actually forget what we're remembering and what it's about. And I kind of just thought this year, I think on the 5th of November, fireworks nights, when like fireworks are going off, and for me, it makes me think that some people hearing that sound brings them to World War. Hearing like there's still people alive who have that in their memory. They've seen friends blown up in front of them, killed in front of them. They've heard bombs exploding. So I can't even fathom that. Like there's really like obviously older people
Okay.
who have this memory. It's crazy. Yeah. I'm done. Like Andrew froze something.
That's just what he does sometimes. Sometimes he's changed a lot. He usually wears a hat because he's trying to be kind of young and cool and approachable. But it's good to have a proper young, cool person in amongst us today. Anyway, wearing a hat.
Thank you, Drew. I'm just wearing a hat because like my receding hairline's terrible, so I just thought I'd put the hat on.
I know it's all ahead of us. Oh, something is happening at least.
There's Andrew.
Andrew's back.
Hello. Should we do our Stevie Wonder?
We can see you, Andrew. We can play something while we sort things out here. Yeah, but I need the
Oh, that was on. It's on my computer.
Can you do this one first? Okay, Andrew, we're gonna go ahead with our Stevie Wonder tune. Go Have a Talk with God. This was one of my favorites growing up, and I thought it'd be a good one for this time. I've thought often of the power of prayer at this time of difficulty. So here's a good reminder, if in case you need it. There are people who have let the problems of today lead them to conclude that for them that life is not the way. But every problem has an answers, and if yours you cannot find, you should talk it over to him. He'll give you peace of mind. When you feel your life's too hard, just go have a talk with God. Many of us feel we walk alone without a friend, never communicating with the one who lives within, forgetting all about the one who never ever lets you down. And you can talk to him anytime, he's always around. When you feel your life's too hard, just go have a talk with God. Well, he's the only free psychiatrist that's known throughout the world for solving problems of all men and women, little boys and girls. When you feel your life's too hard, just go have a talk with God. When you feel your life's too hard, just go have a talk with God. When your load's too much to bear, just go talk to God, he cares. Let's see if we've got our host back on the line. Andrew, you there? We had some internet troubles early before we went online, so we may get another dose of that. Let's see if Mary's going to check out the Facebook line here. We've got a couple backups just in case we're still streaming, but the Andrew and the host is gone here.
I think it's just us on here while Andrew gets back on.
Yeah,
so
okay.
We just have
we'll play a couple more while we're going here. Oh yeah, we had Eagle's Wings as a backup. We thought there was a request last time, so.
Also, Joe Biden put this in his speech, like not his acceptance speech, but in his speech, he used the lines from this. So
we'll do
I'll take it off the Stevie Wonder.
Two or three verses of this. 2 verses.
Yeah.
And start with
one.
and he will raise you up on eagle's wings, bear you on the breath of dawn, make you to shine like the sun, and hold you in the palm of his hand. You who dwell in the shelter of the Lord, who abide in his shadow for life, say to the Lord, my refuge, my rock in whom I trust, and he will raise you up on eagle's, bear you on the breath of dawn, make you to shine like the sun, and hold you in the palm of his hand. The snare of the Father will never capture you, and famine will bring you no fear. Under God's wings, your refuge, with faithfulness your shield, and he will raise you up on eagle's wings, bear you on the breath of dawn, make you to shine like the sun, and hold you in the palm of his hand. Andrew's back.
Yeah, listen, this is honestly, this thing will age me. Oh my gosh, I had to reboot. I don't know. I thought everybody was gone. I thought, just imagine, because I was out the studio, the whole world had fallen apart. But obviously,
Life goes on,
We
man.
were just here.
I think it's a ministerial thing. The minister thinks when he's not there, the whole thing falls apart. But continues.
In fact, if you want us to mute Andrew next time, just give us a thumbs up in the comment section.
You are more than welcome to do that. But thank you. I take it that was the end of Stevie Wonder.
Yep, we finished Stevie Wonder there.
Okay.
Go have a talk with God, a reminder about prayer. That's actually the one that song reminds me to pray almost every day.
Okay, brilliant. Did I miss any other numbers?
No.
Eagles
Wings.
Oh no, that was the end of Eagle's Wings. Before that was Stevie.
Oh, okay. And well, you know, I'm going to get my word in here before I get booted out by Restream again, because I was thinking my own kind of reflection on remembrance. You know, I think when you think about like sacred ordinary, one of the ways that the sacred obviously comes into the world is just through kind of acts of human kindness. And I'm always taken at this time of year, actually, and on this day, with those stories, even in the midst of the horror of war, where human kindness comes out. I mean, you think of that kind of Stille Nacht, the whole Silent Night, Holy Night at the battlefields of Ypres, where the soldiers kind of played football and got together, I think on Christmas Eve on no man's land. But I came across another story that I just wanted to share very quickly, because I think it's such a hopeful story. But it's a story about something that happened to a guy called Charles Brown, known as Charlie Brown to his friends. You may know the story already, but in 1943, he undertook what was actually a successful bomb run in Bremen. They're blowing up, I think, a German munitions factory. And he's flying a B-17 Flying Fortress. And on the way out, was damaged by German fighters. And a German fighter pilot by the name of Franz Stigler was sent up to shoot him down. And Franz Stigler was a flying ace. He had like 27 victories or something like that. And this was a chance, really. It was like easy pickings. And as he neared the plane, he saw that the crew was incapacitated and injured, just kind of lying about, because they'd actually been bombarded by about 12 different planes. And in seeing that, he recalled the words of one of his commanding officers during the time of his fighting in North Africa. And his commanding officer said to him, now this is on the German side, he said, "If I ever see or hear of you shooting at a man in a parachute, I will shoot you myself." And Stigler later commented, saying, you know, to me, it was just like these guys in the plane were in a parachute. I saw them and I couldn't shoot them down. So instead of shooting at the bomber, he actually escorted the plane over German occupied territory, and he flew in formation on Brown's wing so that German anti-aircraft fire would not target it. So he actually was like amazing rescuer for Charlie Brown and this crew. Years and years passed, and in 1986, Charlie Brown was actually giving a talk about his wartime experience. Somebody had asked him about, what was the thing that, were there any kind of extraordinary incidents? And he remembered this and began to research, and through quite a long process, actually made contact with Franz Stigler, who by that stage had moved to Canada and had become a successful businessman. And so between 1990 and 2008, Charlie Brown and Franz Stigler became close friends and remained close friends until their death in 2008. And they died really within a couple of months of each other. So I find that like just an amazing story. I was on a webinar this week, and this old Irish proverb was offered to us. And I thought it's such a beautiful proverb. It goes like this: "It is in the shelter of each other that the people live. It is in the shelter of each other that the people live." And so I just offer that to you. Marion Griff, I left you on screen so you could hear that story. Thank you for paying very careful attention to it and nodding at all the right times. In light of Remembrance Day of the Sacred Ordinary, we've got a very special, very well-known song that Drew is going to do for us. Drew, you ready to lead us with Make Me a Channel of Your Peace?
Yes, I think so. Back again. I'll do my best, and please do join along at home. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. And where there's doubt, through faith in you. Oh, Master, grant that I may never seek so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love with all my soul. Make me a channel of your peace. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned, in giving to ourselves as we receive, and in dying that we're born to eternal life.
Thank you very, very much for that. We head into the back end of the soul sessions for tonight. It's really hard to run something when you've missed about 10 minutes of it. So I'm going to presume that you've covered some musical territory in my absence. I know you have, but we do have one song remaining, and that is a song that I actually has been on my mind for a while now, and that is Creedence Clearwater Revival. Have you ever seen the rain? And I think, Drew, are you playing this, or is it's Griffin Mary leading us in this one? Is that right?
I hope so.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to bring them into the studio here. Griff, Mary, you guys are up for this one, hey?
Yeah, we're up.
Okay.
We can't see ourselves. Do you see us?
Our chat, the chat that came up is in the way. Any idea how to get rid of that?
No, I wouldn't even try right now. We can see you. You're both looking magnificent as always. Trust us on that. I'm going to leave Drew on to kind of maybe tap along to the song. I'm going to take myself off. Our numbers definitely spiked when I wasn't on screen, so I think we'll learn from that. Guys, take it away.
Okay.
Someone told me long ago, there's a calm before the storm. I know it's been coming for some time. When it's over, so they say, It'll rain a sunny day, I know, shining down like water. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day? Yesterday and the days before, sun is cold and rain is hard. I know, been that way for all my time. Till forever on it goes, through the circle fast and slow. I know, I can't stop, I wonder. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day?
I know I'm biased, but that's a fantastic way to end to end Soul Sessions. Going to bring Daryl in here as well. I'm hesitant to do so because this is where it froze last time. I get us all four on there. If you lose me again, just carry on as long as you like. Daryl, thank you so much. You're fantastic, my friend. Best of luck with your book and your ministry. And
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. This is so cool. This is so nice to be part of it. Thank you. I feel honored that you invited me. The music is beautiful. And Andrew, don't worry about all the hiccups. I think the rawness of this makes it amazing. So yeah, thank you. This has been really good.
Thank you so much, Daryl.
We've got the rough down anyway. We've got...
Not so much the ready, but definitely the rough.
Yeah.
Folks, I found a quote when I was thinking about this during the week. Abraham Maslow. Any of the students that ever sat in an RE class of mine will have heard of Adrian Maslow. And when he was talking about it, I think of myself as being fairly resilient even to everything that's going on at the moment. But the one thing that's really going to get me is if I don't get to travel next year. That's the thing I will struggle with. So this was particularly meaningful for me when I found this Maslow quote. He says, "The sacred is in the ordinary. It is to be found in one's daily life, in one's neighbours, friends and family, in one's own backyard. Travel may be a flight from confronting the sacred. This lesson can be easily lost. To be looking elsewhere for miracles is to me a sure sign of ignorance that everything is miraculous."
Wow. Perfect. Drew, thank you so much for sharing that. And that's exactly what this has been about. I actually thought I'd coined the phrase sacred ordinary, but there's old Adrian Maslow got in.
No, it's a good one. And I was thinking that song is beautiful. Just today when I was coming out of work, it was raining all day, and whatever angle I looked up at the sun, the clouds had parted and there was just the golden, the clouds were just catching the golden sunlight as the sun was setting, despite the weather, despite the rain throughout the whole day. So that song there really spoke to me, Griffin Mary. Is a great choice. Well done.
Guys, thank you so much. And you guys carry the load and the pressure of performing the songs. Griff, Mary, thank you so much. Drew, you're a star. Daryl, what a pleasure. And guys, and everybody who's been watching, enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you for joining us. And please join in next week again. We'll be back with a fresh theme, more hiccups, and a whole fresh batch of problems, and hopefully some awesome music. Guys, enjoy the rest of the evening, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Bye, folks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Take care. Have a good evening.